Good morning, Heritage Academy. Oh, I guess no one's awake today. Good morning. My name is Lana, and this is Sarah and Lily. And our first song is going to be 569, Pass Me Not, O Gentle Savior.
Pass me not, O gentle Savior, hear my humble cry. While on others thou art calling, do not pass me by. Savior, Savior, hear my humble cry. While on others thou art calling, do not pass me by. Let me at thy throne of mercy find a sweet relief, kneeling there in deep contrition, help my unbelief. Savior, Savior, hear my humble cry. While on others thou art calling, do not pass me by. Trusting only in thy merit, would I seek thy face. Heal my wounded, broken spirit, save me by thy grace. Savior, Savior, hear my humble cry. While on others thou art calling, do not pass me by. Thou the spring of all my comfort, more than life tore me. Whom have I on earth beside thee? Whom in heaven but thee? Savior, Savior, hear my humble cry. While on others thou art calling, do not pass me by.
Our next song is going to be 287, Softly and Tenderly.
Softly and tenderly, Jesus is calling, calling for you and for me. At the heart's portal, he's waiting and watching, watching for you and for me. Come home, come home. Ye who are weary, come home. Earnestly, tenderly, Jesus is calling, calling, oh sinner, come home. Why should we tarry when Jesus is pleading, pleading for you and for me? Why should we linger and heed not his mercies, mercies for you and for me? sleep tenderly. Jesus is calling, calling the sinner, come home. Think of the wonderful love He has promised, promised for you and for me. Though we have sinned, He has mercy and pardon, pardon for you and for me. Come home, come home. Ye who are weary, come home. Earnestly, tenderly, Jesus is calling, calling for sinner, come home.
Our opening song is going to be 524, 'Tis So Sweet to Trust in Jesus. Please stand.
Tis so sweet to trust in Jesus, just to take Him at His word, just to rest upon His promise, just to know that saith the Lord. Jesus, Jesus, I would trust Him, how I prove Him more and more. Jesus, Jesus, precious Jesus, oh, for grace to trust Him more. Oh, how sweet to trust in Jesus, just to trust His cleansing blood, just in simple faith to plunge me 'neath the healing cleansing flood. Jesus, Jesus, how I trust Him, how I prove Him more and more. Jesus, Jesus, precious Jesus, oh, for strength to trust Him more. Yes, 'tis sweet to trust in Jesus, just from sin and self to cease, just from Jesus simply taking life and rest and joy and peace. Jesus, Jesus, how I trust Him, how I proved Him more and more. Jesus, Jesus, precious Jesus, oh, for grace to trust Him more. I'm so glad I learned to trust Thee, precious Jesus, Savior, friend. And I know that Thou art with me, wilt be with me till the end. Jesus, Jesus, how I trust Him, how I prove Him more and more. Jesus, Jesus, precious Jesus, oh, for grace to trust Him more.
Amen. Can I bring this over here? Good. So, I have had something on my heart for a while. And a lot of people may be wondering why I'm back here at Heritage. And I went to GCA for the most of the semester. And it just wasn't for me, and I wanna really express and really talk about why. I have like these little notes here. They're not really that important. But I've told this to like several people, a lot of my close friends, and it's just like I'm just gonna talk to you guys like I'd be talking to them. So basically, last summer I went canvassing and I canvassed all summer. I want to tell a little bit how that happened. So the school year ended here, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna canvass, but like I'm gonna canvass all summer, and it was gonna be in Kentucky, and I was like, this is what I'm gonna do, and I ended up just being like, okay, never mind, I'm not gonna do it. I actually just want to stay home. My parents were planning like several vacations, and that's what I was gonna do. I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna live the summer life. I'm gonna sleep in, watch Netflix all day, then maybe go to Florida, like, or go somewhere random, I don't know, and that's what we're gonna do. And my parents were planning that. I was like, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, because why not? Like, that's what everyone else does. And then it got down, it was the week that I was supposed to leave for canvassing, and I was like still on the thing. I was like, no, I'm not gonna go. And so it ended up happening where a bunch of things came up. I was just emotionally, I was like everywhere, and I was like, okay, I went out on a run one night, and I was like, I looked up, and like, this is the second time this has happened. I looked up, and like all of a sudden I was just flooded. I like knew I had to go canvassing. Now the first time that this happened was actually here, and it was the first time I ever went canvassing before. And I went canvassing, it was like fall break, I think, last year. It was with Velasta. And he came in and he was like, oh, this and this and this. And I remember Salvador, he was like, yeah, and like, do this. And he really was convincing me. But then I was like, no, I just want to, spend my break sleeping and, like just the basic everything. I was like, okay. And then I remember we were at the picnic, or fall picnic, I think it was. And we were out there, and like it was worship, and like there was like a skit. And Kenneth last year, someone who graduated last year, he said something, and I was just like all of a sudden filled like with this, like I was like, oh my goodness, I have to go canvassing, like I have nothing else to do. And that's literally what happened. I was like, oh my goodness. And this happened again. I was like filled with like the Holy Spirit, and then I was just knew, I was so convicted. I was like, I knew I had to go canvassing. So I ran back inside with my mom, and my mom and my dad were like sitting there worried, because and I was just like, okay guys, I'm going canvassing. So the canvassing program that I was supposed to go to started that day. So I was also applied and accepted in the Georgia Cumberland canvassing program. And that one, I called up Velasta, and he was like, yeah, like we could use you down here. So I went to Warner Robins, Georgia. I literally packed for July, August, or June, July, like 2.5 months in a night. And it was like crazy, and I like packed everything up in a little suitcase, and I like rolled out, and I was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. So I got there. It was hard work. Like I canvassed before, but like not this intense, and it was super hard. But I got there, and I was like, okay, this is really cool. And but like it got to like the 3rd week, 4th week, 5th week, I was like sitting there dead. I was like, okay, I want to go home. This is now okay. I did it. I'm done. I did something productive. Okay, now I want to go home. So I got sick. So I broke out, I had an allergic reaction, and I broke out with like hives and like all this stuff, and I was like, this is my chance to go home. And so I went, I called my mom, I was like, Mom, I'm like sick, I'm like almost dying, and like, she was like, okay. So they literally started like driving at like 1 o'clock. This is like midsummer, like they started like driving like 1 o'clock, they got there at like 7, and I was like there, and I went home. And I was home for a couple days. I got better because I was actually sick. I had like a little bit of bronchitis. I was like dying and stuff like that. But then I got back, and I just sat there in my bed. I was like, okay. It was getting to be midsummer retreat. So in canvassing, the summer canvassing program, there's like a midsummer retreat. And it's like where like all the canvassing programs from around, we all get together, and we went to like this like wake park and like water park with like this obstacle course on a lake. And it was super, super cool. And we started like playing, but I didn't know I was gonna go back. So I decided to go back canvassing, and I was like, okay, this is what I gotta do. So my mom went and dropped me off. We met at Cohutta Springs, the canvassing people. And I went back with my group, and I went to the midsummer retreat. And then after that, it was 5 weeks left, because it's a 10-week program. So there's 5 weeks left, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. So the second half was like literally crazy. Like the first half, I just went through the motions. I was like, hi, my name is Anna, blah, blah, blah. And I was like just average. I was just like chilling. I was just doing what I gotta do. But the second half, I came back, I was like, okay, I want to make this something like that I won't forget and everything like that. I want to try new things, try new canvassing techniques, try new everything. And so I went back, and the second half was amazing. But the thing is it was super hard work, and there was lots of canvassing testimonies. one is like I got attacked by a dog. So this didn't happen until like the end of the school or the canvassing, and I was walking along the road, right, and this dog. I never pay attention to beware of dog signs, and I didn't. It was like maybe 7 weeks into the program. Never had a dog experience. Never had to struggle with that. I was not scared of dogs at all. But then all of a sudden I walked in and this dog literally starts like running towards me. And like I'm like so scared. I like drop all my books and I'm like just sitting there. Like see, for me, the thing is like when people like I am not good at defense at all. Like if anything bad happens, I will literally just sit there and go like this. Like I won't fight. Like I just like if anything bad happens, someone comes attacks me, I'm literally gonna be like this. Like I don't have any like but yeah. The dog comes in and he attacks me, like bites me, and I have like a thing on my leg. Luckily, it didn't shed blood, but it hurt a lot. And I don't know how, but it caused a bruise, like a big bruise. It just didn't bite. I don't know how a dog does that, but it happened. And from then on, I was like so scared. I'm not gonna lie, I did skip a couple doors after that because I was like, I got to the point where I was like walking on doors and I was like, okay, I heard the dog. I was like, nope. And I went to the next house. I was like, no, this scared me so much. But God really like showed me in that moment that like, He protected me and all that stuff. But canvassing for me was like literally life-changing. Like it made me real. Like I was in a totally different environment. A lot of them were college kids. I made friendships there that would last for like forever and stuff like that. But then I decided GCA. GCA is where I'm gonna go. And so some of you guys don't know what GCA is. It's Calhoun, Georgia. It's like a big school. It's really cool. But so last school year, this is a place that I call home, but I got into trouble and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna live my life, just like chill and like, I'm a teenager, just the basic teenager thing that everyone's wanting to do. They're like, oh, I'm just gonna live my life. Like, we only have a certain amount of time to live it. And that was me. I look back at my freshman year, I don't regret my freshman year because I was so many learning experiences. I think I got a lot of stuff out of my system that I didn't have before. And so but I was like, okay, I'm tired of like wearing long skirts. I'm tired of doing this and this and this. I think I'm just going to make everything better and go to a different school. Well, I came to realize that that's not how it works. I was literally living the most beautiful life ever. I'd wake up every morning. I'd work out. I did that for a month straight, and then I stopped. But it was a long streak for me. And then I was like, okay. And then I went to friends' houses, went out to eat, went over to my really cool village friends' houses. And everyone there, they have like money and like their houses are nice and like they have pools and hot tubs. And I was just chilling and I was just having the best life ever, like if someone looked at me. But what people didn't realize is every night I'd call my mom and be like, Mom, this is hard for me. Like, this is not what I want. What am I doing? At the end of the day, like Stephanie at Sabbath school, at the end of the day, what am I doing that actually matters at the end of the day? I was like, does me going and hanging out with my friends, eating cool food and like chilling and being on our phones, oh my goodness. So there was this time I was like, we all went to a pool and like everyone was literally sitting there on their phones. I was like, oh my goodness, I can't handle this. I was like, this is so bad. Like I knew like if like my friend group, we went to a pool, we'd be like, we'd like be pushing each other in, like if we didn't have our phones. But I'm saying like, it's just like, I realized at that second, I was like, oh my goodness, I kind of wish I didn't have my phone. Like, I realized how much social media, like people would get mad at people. They would be like, oh my goodness, did you see their Snapchat story? What do you think about that? And then the next day, the person would be mad at that person. I'm like, this actually does not matter. Like, this isn't really that important. And anyways, so I went to GCA. Everything was perfect. I didn't get into any trouble. I was such a good kid. But I was losing time for like spiritual stuff. I was like, okay, this is not happening. Like this cannot happen. I just had the best summer ever, got super close to God. This cannot happen. So I was like, okay, I was calling my mom every night. They have super high academics at GCA. Like they're really hard, like pretty hard compared to like some places. And like, it just wasn't for me. Like for me, I've never been like any lower than a C, never failed a class. Like I'm just an average student, but like I never have like, I don't know, like I just never like have been someone to be like, oh, I'm gonna get all A's, like, and I really respect the people that are like that. Like people that are like that, I'm like, oh my goodness, I wish I could be you, but I'm not. Like I'm like an average student, but I don't want to do anything. Like I want, like my goal in life is to be in the mission field, do something with people because I like talking a lot. If you guys don't notice, I'm kind of loud, obnoxious, but like I want to use something like that in the world and I want to do something to help people. But at GCA, that was not the place for me. Now, GCA, like every single school, I believe, and I really realized that every school, especially boarding school, they all have the same purpose, and it's to help kids. They just have different ways of doing it, and there's a school for everyone. Like GCA might be the school for someone to grow spiritually and like be at their spiritual high and like just like be the best person they can be, but others it's just not for them. And I realized that that was not for me, because what I really wanted in life was not that, and I didn't want to get, I saw myself slowly being transformed, like being like, oh yeah, you know, like gossiping and like talking about people, or like, you know, everyone like has nice stuff, like an Apple Watch. I like literally 75-80% of the school has iPhone X's. Like that's just how it is, or like whatever the new one is. And like it was like Apple Watch, like, oh, I'm gonna wear like the coolest clothes ever, and like blah 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 blah. And it was just like, this is not what I actually want in life, and this is not what matters to me. So I called my mom, and I was just like, okay, this is not what I want, and this is like kind of a weekly thing. And I talked to like people like Miss Nancy here, and I was just like, I don't know, like I kind of want to come back, like this is like, and I realized that the family that I have here, like the friends and the memories I made here, I will never be able to make anywhere else. Like, and I don't think you guys understand it. And people are all like, oh, going to a different school, you know, everyone's like, I just want to leave this place. Like, I just want to do this. It's like, no, that's not actually how it works. Like, I tried that. Running from your problems is not going to fix it. And I realized that really, really quickly. And I was like, okay, I understand no matter where you go, even at GCA, where it's like you can have your phones, you can date, you can do whatever you want compared like to some places. And it's just like, no matter where you go, you're gonna not agree with someone. You're not gonna like rules that are there. You're not gonna do. And I realized, okay, that's how it's gonna be everywhere. So I had to sit down and realize that that's how it's going to be, and I had to accept that, and I learned that really quickly. And I don't regret any of the time I was at GCA, because I learned a lot of things that I wouldn't, and I realized that you don't realize what you have until you don't have it. And I realized that with this school, and I come back, and I came here, and it was really actually very quickly. I wasn't expecting to come back until next semester, but it just happened super quickly, and I left a lot of people at GCA. Everyone was like, why are you leaving? Why would you want to go back? Like, blah, 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 blah. And I'm sitting there like, I was dealing with a ton of stuff, and that's when I realized the devil was like, pew, pew, pew. He was coming at me, man. He was like, this and this and this. I was like, oh, maybe I'm making the wrong decision. But every single time, I realized, I was like, okay, I went back. I was like, what do I truly want in life? What do I truly want? I want to do a lot of mission work, stuff like that. The tuition here is a lot less, so I'll have a lot more to do that. Canvassing, my whole canvassing check went straight towards GCA, like, because it was $21,000, and it's just a lot. And I was just like, okay. I had to sit down and realize what I really wanted, and I prayed a lot. And I realized, I was like, I really feel led back to Heritage, and this is the place where I call home. Like, and I come back, and I realized that it's like a different vibe, and I realize we're all kind of like negative and down. I just really wanted to tell you guys that I have been in that spot last year. At the end of the year, I was like, I don't want to be here. Like, this is awful. Like, I thought my whole world, like my whole life was like terrible. I was like becoming rebellious, and I was doing this stuff. I was like, why not do it? Because it's like, I was like, I don't really feel like doing it, but I'll do it just because, you know, I just want to be rebellious and make a point across. But that's not really how things work, and I realized that I learned through that. And I come back now and I realize that we need to have a positive attitude. And like I see that, like I feel like if I came at the beginning of the year, I'd be super down and out, and I'd be like, oh my goodness, no, I just don't want to be here. But the thing is I came back and like mid-semester, like kind of at the end, and I realized that there's so much more to life than like, we're not going to agree with everything wherever we go and whatever we do, but we got to make the best of things, and it is what we make it. So if we're like, it starts with one person. If one person goes around and they're like, oh my goodness, this day sucks, like I don't want to be here, the other person's like looking at them and they're like, oh, maybe it does, like, okay, what can I find that's I don't agree with, and stuff like that. And pretty soon it's like a whole ripple effect. Everyone's like down and out, and everyone's like, oh. But I know for a fact that we can make memories here. Last night, the girls went caroling. I know I had a crazy experience. I stepped in dog poop, and I literally was laughing so hard. And these were new shoes that I got, and I was like, I was literally dying, and Tori was like, I told you so. I was like, oh my goodness. But I was literally laughing so hard from that moment. It's like little things like that. I was like, okay, I cannot be like, we're not making memories here, like this sucks, like, but it is what we make it. And I know, like, I had the option last night, we were like, oh, should we go? Like, should I go out in there? I was like, you know what, yes, I'm gonna go, because, you know, and it ended up being super, super fun. It was kind of past my bedtime. I really wanted to go to bed, but it's okay. And I realized that it just really is what we make it. And I just really want to tell you guys, like, I don't want you guys to think I'm just coming in here and, like, I wasn't here the first beginning of the semester. I don't want anyone to think I'm coming in here being like, oh, I can change everything, like, everything's going to be perfect. I'm here, so now everything's good. No, it's not the way it is. I'm struggling with things a lot. Like, I am not perfect. I know that for a fact. And there's things that I'm personally struggling with still that are, like, crazy, and I am dealing with that and praying about it and asking God to help me with that. But the thing is that I realize that there's people here that we're such leaders, and there's also people that are leaders behind the scenes, and like all of us have different personalities, and we can use them. Like, I'm super loud and obnoxious sometimes, but like I like talking to people, and so like that could be useful. Others, they're like super quiet, they might have a musical talent and stuff like that, but they could use that too. And it's like we could all come together. If we all came together as a family and like we just realized, okay, we're not going to agree with everything, and sometimes things are going to suck, and sometimes things it's not going to be cool, but like we got to realize this is where we're at. And like I know for a fact that every single one of you are here, and like I know a lot of people say this, but like God put you here, like, and it might be to learn patience because you don't agree with things, or it might be to make the memories, and like but I know for a fact that even if I made a lot of mistakes last year, I know for a fact that I look back and it was still an amazing year, and I learned so much. And I just want us all come together as a family and realize, like, when we're walking through the hallways, instead of being like, oh, this place sucks, like, just be like, okay, this is the way it is. Let's just make the best out of things. And I feel like I was talking to someone, I can't remember who, and everyone's like, there's so much potential. We have so many cool people at this school that the devil's like, okay, target, pew, 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 and he targets us. And I feel like this year it's a lot of things that people are personally going through, and like people are personally dealing with, like the devil's like, oh, family, this, and sister, friends, like, and then he's putting all this stuff on us, and and then it's all combined, and then the mood of the school just becomes, and it goes down, and it's just like, okay, what is this about? And then, but yeah, I just really wanted to say, guys, we're here for a reason, and that I know I'm here for a reason. I did not have, my parents, this was my choice 100%. Like, my parents, they kind of wanted me to stay at GCA just to finish it out. This is something that I had a complete choice in. I was not made to come back, but I chose to come back because I knew this is where I could reach my full potential and I could grow the most spiritually with my friends. And like, we've been through so much together, all of us. Like, I know you guys have been through a lot, and like a lot of us have been there by each other through each of our personal things, and we can't go back from that. Like, I know that at GCA I did not find any friends or people that compared to my friends here and the people I call family. So I want us to go and walk away and be like, look, okay, we aren't going to agree with things, but I want us to all try and be positive. That's something that I really want to see, like, because I have such a passion for, like, positivity. Like, I'm generally a happy person, even when things suck. But I realize that a lot of us aren't that way, but I want to try and make us all realize that it is what we make it, and I just want everyone to be happy, because no matter what, we're here. Why not make the best of things? So, yeah, that's like a short testimony and something that I really wanted to talk about. So, yeah, I'll pray. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you for this day. I want to thank you that all of us are here, and I know we're all here for a reason, but I want to pray that we'll be able to be the best people we can possibly be, each personally. I want to pray that we'll walk away from this and realize, okay, this isn't what we make it. I want to pray that we'll have a positive attitude, try and create memories that will last forever. And I just want to thank you for the family that we have here, whether we argue or not, because I know I argue sometimes, but like, I want to pray that like we'll all come together as a family, and that we'll all be there for each other no matter what, and that you'll just help this school, guide it, direct it. I want to pray that we'll have a positive attitude. And thank you for everything, and please help us to have a good day and for it to go by fast. And break is coming soon, so please help that to come super soon. In your name I pray, amen.